Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
We may,
Good morning, ma'am.
I
Namaskar, ma'am.
request everyone to be seated.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to begin the program as Minister is
Good
already here. So there are a couple of students who will be joining us a little late, maybe. They are traveling and there will be about 40 to 50 students from Kendriya Vidyalayas. So I would like to now begin the program. So dear dignitaries, invitees, CSR fraternity, stakeholders, past and present CSR Jigyasa seniors, guests, invitees, school commissioners, principals, teachers, students, parents, my dear colleagues, and everyone present here, and to all those who are watching us live, good morning to each one of you. On behalf of CSR India, I welcome our dignitaries, respected Honorable Minister, Science and Technology and Earth Sciences, Dr. Jitendra Singh Ji, respected Director General Dr. Mande Ji, respected Joint Secretary, Admin Shri Surendra Pal Singh Ji, respected Financial Advisor CSIR Shri Chetan Prakash Jain Ji, Head of Human Resource Development Group Dr. Geeta Vani, CSIR Jigyasa Task Force Committee members, and CSR Task Force Committee Chairman Dr. Narhari Shastri, all respected members of the CSR Jigyasa Task Force Committee, Expert Judiciary Selection Committee, respected former head HRDG Professor Chakravarti, Director Niti Ayog Dr. Devi Prasad Bhutia, respected Jigyasa Program Lead Directors of each CSR laboratories, my seniors, respected commissioners of schools, principals, teachers, students, parents, and my CSR colleagues and friends and all who are watching us live. I welcome you all to the award ceremony today, where winners for the CSR Jigyasa Vigyan Mahotsav 2022 will be announced shortly. Today we are assembling to recall the CSR Jigyasa Vigyan Mahotsav 2022 that was announced in January 2022. You may recall our first boot camp that was conducted from 10th to 14th January and second from 17th to 25th January. The announcement for submissions were open on 7th February and ended with an extension of one day on 15th February. During this period, we had more than 30,000 students who had registered with us. With 2,400 submissions, let us see today what the competition has unfolded before us and if it has achieved its objectives. For this, may I now invite DGCSIR Dr. Mandeji to come and give the welcome remarks.
Honorable Minister, Science and Technology, Earth Sciences, Dr. Jigyasa, my senior colleagues from CSI, Chetan Prakash Jain, Surendra Singh, Head of Human Resources Development Group, Dr. Geeta Vani, all the senior colleagues of CSI headquarters in the audience, teachers, principals, and school children who have assembled here for the announcement of the competition that was held nationwide. As all of you are aware, CSIR undertook this big exercise of connecting with schools across India some years ago, and it has been labeled as the Jigyasa program of CSIR, where many school children, they connect with the scientists directly in order to understand what do actually scientists really do in the laboratories. Now, general impression about scientists in the society is that we are generally lost in our own world. We have long hair, we have long beard and things like that, which are kind of misconceptions. But nonetheless, the creativity that happens in science in our laboratories, and how does that creativity eventually translates into the benefit for the society? The many advancement in the society that we see, making our lives easier and all, much of that actually is also because of the work that has gone behind the scenes in discovering new technologies, implementing the technologies for society, and so on and so forth. And with the purpose of that, to tell the children, this Jigyasa program started about 4 years ago, and we have connected literally lakhs of the school children till now in this particular program. Honorable Mantriji also had inaugurated one aspect of Jigyasa program a few months ago, and that was the e-learning platform. So what CSR is trying to do is also reach out to a much wider range of students, especially in rural areas and other places, through these e-platforms. And if we are able to do that, I think it will be transformative for the future generation. And we are very happy that through the program that we tell the students not only about the work that goes on in our lab, but also what are the challenges that humanity or the challenges our country faces in the coming time. And these challenges require S&T solutions. And through the Jigyasa program, we tell students that these are the kind of things that you could do. And the essay competition that was organized nationwide also addressed in part this particular issue about the challenges of future, about the climate, about the environment, about water, and so on and so forth. So in that respect, we are very pleased that a large number of students did participate in the competition, and we are eagerly awaiting Honorable Mantriji to announce the results of that particular competition. So welcome all of you to this meeting, and all the very best to the young students of science and technology.
Thank you, sir. I would now like to welcome Dr. Geeta Vani. She would be giving the overview of Jigyasa Vigyan Mahotsav 2022 competition. And Dr. Geeta Vani is the head of HRDG. Ma'am.
Good morning to one and all. Firstly, I would like to thank Honorable Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh Ji for giving us time today, and he's always been supportive of all the activities we do, and his encouragement means us a lot. Thank you, sir. And I would like to thank Dr. Shekhar Mandi, DGCSIR, FACSIR, JSCSIR, who be here with us today, and all the dignitaries in the auditorium, and importantly, the thousands of students and all our Jigyasa nodals who really been the lifeline of this competition. I'll just briefly take you through how this was conceptualized. As DGCS had mentioned, Jigyasa has emerged as a flagship program, outreach program of CSIR. CSIR has always been known to open its doors for students even before Jigyasa, where people would come for this foundation day. But it wasn't really an organized event. It would be a one-off event, which lab. But now I think the last few years, we've really made conscious efforts. It's a funded program with all the 37 labs participating in it and round the year. And I think it's really taking science to the masses, which is actually one of the ambitions of Shri Narendra Modi ji, the Honorable PM, is really we've emerged as a flagship program. And as Dr. Mandi mentioned, in fact, in one of the society meetings, Honorable PM, while appreciating it, he said, how about reaching the rural people? people or people who don't have internet access or not even internet. Not everybody can visit CSIR labs. So is there a way we can connect to them? So we developed this virtual lab with IIT Bombay, which Honorable Minister in fact launched it just few months back. So at that time, and we all know that they're celebrating 75 years of Indian independence as Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, and there's a double joy for CSIR, which is also celebrating 80 years of its inception. So it's been a really fantastic year for us in terms of outreach. And at that point, it was felt that the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, we need to connect to school students also. It's not just, talking to policy makers and fellow scientists. So there was an initiative from the Office of PSA and Ministry of Culture and Science and Technology Ministries. How do we expand Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav to the school students? So at that point, we decided, since Jigyasa is such a flagship program, how do we leverage this and actually take the message of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav to the students? So with that, we conceptualized this, what we call the Jigyasa Vigyan Mahotsav, and also we just launched the virtual lab platform. So can we use that platform? Because once we develop a platform, it's not the end of the story. It has to actually reach the people, the students. So we said through this virtual platform, let's continue the competition. So we conducted a nationwide competition. And again, there are competitions are dime a dozen nowadays. So we said, competition is only, a prize is one aspect, but actually people have to learn even when they participate in the competition. So what we did is we did 2 boot camps. So the first boot camp was actually contemporary scientific topics: climate change, energy, water, artificial intelligence. These are the topics, and we are talking of Vision 2047 as India becomes 100. What is the path ahead? And that path is only through science and technology. And the young scientists who are just joined us today, these are the people who will be leading the nation then. So it's good to hear from us. So we got experts from Professor Pradeep, who's an expert in water technology at IIT Chennai, spoke about water. We had Dr. Shravanti from IGI who talked about stem cells to the students. So this bootcamp was actually to engage them in the scientific thinking and knowledge. That was done for a week. And we did online quiz competitions for the participants and gave online certificates. Thanks to the pandemic, we had to invent new methods of engaging them. And the interesting thing was, okay, you have ideas. How do you express them? We write a Word document and submit it. But we wanted to encourage creativity in the students. So we took a different track and we said, we will challenge the students to come up with a video or an app or a comic or an infographic addressing these issues and science fiction. So not everybody knows how to do this. So Bootcamp 2 was conducted. We invited artists, we invited leading videographers to teach our students. You can't teach much in an hour, but at least some tips, how do you develop these infographics? Even if they don't participate in the competition, they learn something new. So we did Bootcamp 2. And after that, we launched the competition. And as Dr. Wafia mentioned, we had more than 35,000 registrations and 1 lakh hits on our Jigyasa Virtual Lab platform website. And we have 2,500 entries. And that was a humongous task. And I must really compliment our Jigyasa core team, who really screened all the 2,500 applications and shortlisted top 150. All the top 150 will get a certificate of merit. And from that, an expert committee led by Dr. Bina Pillai of IGIP and many leading artists have narrowed down top 75, which the Honorable Minister will be announcing today. So that's the brief journey of Jigyasa Vigyan Mahotsav. And I think all the students are excited to know what the prize is, which will be announced shortly. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Welcome, students. And now we would like to show you all the video of the story of Jigyasa Vigyan Mahotsav. Can we see the clip? Thank you. I would like to now show the slides for the winners and the announcement of the top. I'm sorry. So we will be showing the slides, and the announcement of the top 75 winners will be announced by Honorable Minister SNT, Mr. Jitendra Singh Ji. Yeah. So he will be announcing the top few prizes. So may I request Minister Ji to please do the honors? So can you please show the slide? So considering the 75 years of independence, we have, announced 75 awards. Sure, sir. Thank you so much for accommodating. So,
Hey, this is not matching with what you have given me. See, this what you have given me is 46. Here it is 67. Number serious. हाँ तो फिर यार आपने भी ऐसे नहीं किया।
54 रखना ना तो नहीं तो 54
हाँ तो ये पहले कराया नहीं सॉरी मुझे नहीं luckily the audience is a home audience otherwise it makes a news. So I'll announce one.
yes, sure, sir. Sure.
Which is Shivashish Chauhan for
Yeah.
individual submission. बाद में देंगे.
Yes. Yes.
अच्छा.
Yeah.
Let them come there.
Yes, yes. You please come here. Subhashish.
Now अगला कौन सा बोलना है?
ये वाला ये सर्टिफिकेट आपके
ये लाइन में लग रहा हूँ
First prize winning here is announced.
ठीक है. Subhashish.
50,000 वाला पहले निकालो. 50,000 वाला आया नहीं कोई. But announce the name. Announce the name ना. Even in absentia.
वो यहाँ है वो आते जाएंगे बाकी
हाँ बाकी अनाउंस तो करने हैं ना. हाँ. So 50,000 none of them has actually turned up but we have the names. If they have a friend there they can convey it. Vinayak Acharya, Dimple Dhinkar Patil, Jagdish Prasad Patnaik. And finally the grand. एक लाख के लालच में तीनों आए हैं. कम वाले नहीं आए. So the grand prize worth 1 lakh, you have 3 and all of 3 have turned up. So that speaks what is the attraction. I hope they have come more for the scientific glory of it rather than the amount. So it is Muhammad Hishan. And come, you can come to the stage.
Yeah.
Nimbali.
रोल नंबर 18 मैं नहीं मैं बाहर खड़ी हूं कम स्टैंड हियर
हो गया ना 3 है ना.
Yes, and the one more student is here who had come earlier, the third prize one, and she. Yes. Hello. Hello, ma'am. Shivashi, just come. Stand. Come. You can stand. Please come. So, TG, please come forward. If you want to the first, this is the award for Shivaji. Then Mohammed Hisham. A big hand for him. First 3 awards for 1 lakh. Then we have Smruti Nimbali. Best wishes. Then we have another 1 lakh topmost prize for the third prize. Sanchi Bansal, again 1 lakh prize. Yes, sir. So these were the ones who come here personally to visit us. So maybe you can have a group photo. इनके पास तो है सर्टिफिकेट क्योंकि वो ऑफलाइन है सॉरी इसलिए या हाँ यही है so grant 2 3 are there so they can come yes so he will be coming in the next round. They want to have 3
Yes, sir.
Okay, one is come. What is her name? First prize, Swati Mangal. Swasti Mangal is also here, sir. So may I request you to give Swastik Mangal. Yeah, I think these all of them can.
जगह नहीं मत रही ये आपका देखो स्टेज का डिजाइन ठीक रहो इसको क्या करना है पोडियम के आगे लीव है जगह 1 फुट किसी ने इस तरह देखा ही नहीं जैसे नॉर्मली एसओपी का है तो जैसे पोडियम
We have parents also joining in the picture. Please come, parents. Thank you, sir.
ये ऑनलाइन इंटरेक्शन यही
So I would now like to invite the winners, the top 3 winners, to say a few words for 2 minutes. They could, just brief us about their experiences. So the first in the list is Mohammed Hisham. Please come, Mohammed.
My name is Mohammed Hisham, and I am of Mayur School, Noida, class 9th. Thank you for giving me this chance to speak. I have used the climate change I have used the theme climate change for my video. As we all know, Earth's temperature is rising every year. My video talked about what would happen in our lives 150 years later.
Can I just interrupt you for a second? Sorry to interrupt you. Can you carry on?
My name is Muhammad Isham of class 9th of my useful Noida. Thank you for giving me the chance to speak. I have used the theme climate change for my video. As we all know, Earth's temperature is rising every year. My video talked about what would happen in our lives 150 years later if we don't respond to climate change. The video involves a scientist living in Mars since Earth is inhabitable. Now, there's no water or rain on Mars, and people are dying because of dehydration. Therefore, the scientists travel back in time to Earth in order to find more information about artificially creating water cycle on the surface of Mars. Thank you.
Can we show his video? Is it? हाँ हाँ जो बोले हैं वो तो है. It's going live also. Yes. It's being recorded. Yes. Recording हो चुकी है. Thank you, Mohammed ji. Thank you so much. All the best. So now may I now request our second topmost third winner among the third winners, Shruti Nimbali. Come and please say a few words.
Thank you so much. It is truly an honor. So, good morning to one and all. My name is Purti Nimbali, and I'm currently a student of class 10 studying at Delhi Public School, Arkipuram. So, my project is a mobile application and it's called EpiCare. It was mainly developed with the aim of helping people with epilepsy, which is a chronic neurological disorder wherein people experience frequent and unprovoked seizures. My own grandfather has battled this disorder all his life, and it was witnessing his problems firsthand that motivated me to develop EpiCare. So the primary feature of EpiCare is the SOS protocol, which is either initiated when the user uses the SOS button or automatically when the application detects jerking movements. So during an emergency, when the SOS protocol is initiated, first of all, the app sends an alert email to the caregivers, but more primarily, it delivers oral and visual instructions to the lay bystanders. This can prove life-saving mainly because the person who is experiencing a seizure tends to become unconscious, and the general public at large does not know how to respond to a seizure. So, as more than 70% of all seizures can be prevented with adequate precautions, EpiCare also has a number of preventive features such as a medication reminder system, an in-app daily sleep tracker, as well as a health log, which provides a graphical representation of all the past seizures with parameters such as location, intensity, trigger, duration, etc., all of which can be directly shareable to the user's doctor with just one click. So in a nutshell, EpiCare is an application that can impact lives on a global scale, allowing millions to help and even more to be helped. Thank you.
Thank you, Smriti. It was a very nice app. And I would now like to welcome Sanchi Bansal, who is also one of the top winners. So please come and say a few words.
Thank you very much, everyone. Good morning, everyone. I am Sanchi Bansal of Class 8 Cambridge from the Barilal DAV Model School, Pitampura. I am the creator of this application, Mama. I believe that problem is the igniter of innovation. So, the problem that I choose is the current solution, current situations. I witnessed how many children lost their parents during this COVID crisis, and also many single parents were left behind to take the best care of their children. Also, the young generation believes that all traditional ways are mythical or unhygienic. Whereas, when I discussed this with my mother, she suggested that not all traditional ways are myths. Instead, a good combination of both of them is necessary for the care of the child. So, I created this application, Mama, which is an informative guide and a companion for single parents as well as new nursing mothers to guide them how they can take the best care of their baby. My application is in two languages, English and Hindi, to make it more accessible to all parents. Also, I have added 5 features that are feeding, vaccination, Anganwadis. Anganwadis are childcare centers in government set up by government. Then I have added vaccination and how to take care during COVID-19. All these tabs provide information and have video graphics to explain the parent about them. In the vaccination tab, I have added a vaccine chart that the parent can keep handy for 0 to 12 months of the baby. Then in the Anganwadi centers tab, I have added locations of the nearest Anganwadi centers to the user, and they just have to select their state. I hope my application would be able to complete its aim by solving this problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It is a very nice and fantastic app. I request Honorable Minister to address the audience.
No, it's okay, but it's too high. Director General CSIR, Dr. Shekhar Mande, Mr. Jain, Mr. Surinder Pal, Dr. Geeta, members of the faculty, students, members of the team Jigyasa, and the parents. So I think, first of all, I have to perform the pleasant duty of congratulating the winners this morning and also their parents, because I know for the youngsters and their parents, this is happens to be a cherished moment, and I'm sure impressed by the kind of presentations they made, they would go a long way in what they have taken up for themselves. And also, I would rather suggest that we would make some video films depending on each of the creations done by them, with the video of the project conducted by them along with some of their comments, so that we can widely circulate it and also motivate others. And in course of time, this also helps you to discover more openings for yourself as it receives a wider circulation. And as was being mentioned by Dr. Shekhar Mande, that this was a national level scientific creativity competition called Jigyasa Vigyan Mahotsav 2022. And incidentally, this is being observed at a time when we are also observing the National Science Week, which is going to culminate on the 28th of this month as the National Science Day. And I think another good omen is that it also coincides with what the Honorable Prime Minister described as Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. And as was being mentioned by Director General, that this also gave the young students an opportunity to visit many of the CSIR labs. In fact, that is something that I had been asking for many years now, that even in the vicinity, at the 3 or 4 kilometer radius of many of our CSIR labs, very little is known what is happening inside. And in some of the places we have an AIMS or a medical college or a medical institute in the immediate vicinity, they have not even met each other, despite the fact there's so much of common between the two institutes, both in terms of learning as well as in the terms of research. So, in fact, way back, I had suggested that we should have, and in fact, we had also written to the tourism ministry that we should prepare an itinerary and also write to the educational institutions that when they conduct their educational trips, as they do annually, they should include in the itinerary some of these labs wherever they go. Like, for example, when they come to Delhi, they end up visiting Red Fort, Jantar Mantar, and other places, which even otherwise the students would go, and they know where to go. The tourist guide will also. But I had suggested that we could include NPL, one of the oldest laboratories under CSIR, which even people living in Delhi don't know where it is. So I'm glad that now we have tried to institutionalize this mechanism so that once it gets institutionalized, then it will become a part of the culture and also part of the curriculum. And so this Jigyasa, as was being mentioned, the awards were introduced. The program, in fact, was introduced in 2017. And nearly 3 lakh students and more than 5,000 teachers have benefited from it, which was followed by a virtual lab, CSIR virtual lab. In fact, the suggestion for which came from none less than the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi when he addressed the CSIR Society on the 14th of February 2020. And soon thereafter, just about 2 months back, we had a program in the same room here when a virtual lab platform was also launched on the 22nd of November 2021. And this Jigyasa Vigyan Mahotsav began on the 3rd of January, which has reached more than 20,000 students. And one of the unique features is that as successfully conducted 7 boot camps, which all the futuristic themes. If I read out the list, we have the theme of energy, we have the theme of artificial intelligence, we have the theme of climate change, as Hashim was, I think, talking about. We have the theme of health care, which is, attained a lot of priority in the pandemic times. We have the theme of the weather conservation, disaster mitigation, agri-technology, because under CSIR, we have the Aroma mission and we have a new area of agri startups, which is not yet being widely circulated enough. And it's a huge potential area. So these boot camps provide an opportunity for the youngsters to realize, to understand, and also to discover their own selves. Sometimes they may not be aware. So this is an opportunity for them to realize their scientific potential and also be creative about it. As this young girl now was talking about, she prepared something for the COVID parents, the single parents, but I think the double can also use it. So it's so good. She very innocently said that she was inspired by the scene of lot of mortality happening during the pandemic and some of the children being left with a single parent. But even if you have 2 parents, this gadget can be used, because even the 2 parents may be going for work. So the gadgets which are inspired by circumstantial situations actually continue to have their relevance even in future. So like that, many of the gadgets which were evolved, or many of the innovations which were made keeping COVID in mind, will actually remain useful to us even in the future times. Now, telemedicine picked up in a big way in healthcare. It was there for almost 10, 15 years, but at least in India, it had not picked up. So suddenly, pandemic, it picked up. And now you see, even after the pandemic is over, telemedicine is being extensively used. In fact, even in my own constituency, I have linked my 1 or 2 district hospitals up to the panchayat level, so as to reach those where they don't even see a doctor. So I think for the children, this is also an opportunity to discover their science talent and also discover it with creativity, and then to develop ideas like these youngsters have illustrated. So it's science plus creativity plus idea, which is all Jigyasa about. And that creates Jigyasa. So Jigyasa leads to this. This is a cause and effect relationship. Jigyasa leads to idea, the idea leads to creativity, and then that leads to further Jigyasa. And with a competition like this happening, or I would not say exactly competition just to show each other down, but at least appear working, also enables you to understand what the other person is doing. So sometimes you can also synergize. And I'm glad that this was done both in English and Hindi. And I'm sure the winners will continue to pursue this. Not that you have been given an award and then you fold up the projects. It's not like that. I mean, you finish out the class, the result is out, then the textbook is not seen again. So it's not that. It's a continuous process, because if the Jigyasa dies, then you will not move further. And also, it is up to us also to search such young talents and mentor them. Because now that we are preparing for India at 100, that is 2047. So I think the CSIR and the ministry at large will also take upon itself the responsibility to search the potential brains and to develop them. And I think ultimately the mantra for us who are managing this should be to search, to mentor, and to sustain. So searching, mentoring, and sustaining. So first you search the right kind of talent, the potential, because, and that only professional, unassuming mentors can't do, not even parents, because parents sometimes overestimate. Like these parents who have come here, they're so much enamored by their child's performance that they sometimes tend to think that they have given birth to an Albert Einstein. But this doesn't happen. It's like you have a beautiful child and you think he's going to grow up as a Devananda Dharmendra. So that overestimation also. So the optimum realization of the talent and then searching it and mentoring it. That's something which we in the faculty can do. So searching, mentoring, and then sustaining. Because otherwise what happens is you do the mentorship, then I also get busy. The child also grows up. He has to find a means of livelihood. He starts looking, going through newspaper advertisements. One day sees a UPSC ad, goes in for civil exam, ends up as a babu. So scientist becoming under secretary. And he has a secure livelihood. So we lost. So I think this is because in the times to come, the entire progress of the world and more so of India is going to be science-based. So you have to take a lead. We have to prepare ourselves. So I think we'll also have more institutionalized programs because we had this competition through which you came. We would also then write to the schools and colleges to actually do some search also. So search, mentor, and then sustain. That will be also linking you with your sources of livelihood, and you will not easily run away from us. You may run away from your parents because and that sometimes happens because in space actually, before I conclude, I tell an anecdote. I think we started about 10 years back a program where we would pick up a group of children between class 7 and class 10, almost like 7 to 9. And then would send them for an internship of 6 months or so with one of the Nobel laureates. So we had an arrangement. I don't know whether it's continuing now because then the COVID came in and then I think it was lost also. So then I used to actually also interact with them for my own learning. So one of the boys, many years back, I think, so 8 years back, from Bengaluru, when he came back, he was just class 7. So he started teaching me what he had learned, seeing the Nobel laureate mentor. And then I said, are you now comfortable? He said, no, not comfortable, because my parents are my biggest problem. He said, I want to carry on with some work, but my mother keeps pestering me to do homework. So always telling me homework, she is not allowing me to do this work. So gradually, because your perspective would be different, and therefore, I'm sure the scientific fraternity will own you and you will own them. And you will also help us discover other peers so that you form ecosystem and a group of startups. So all the very best and please carry on. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your kind words, sir. And yes, we will follow the encouragement that you have continued to shower on Jigyasa program, and the Jigyasa students are very much obliged and lucky to have, such fostering ministries and such lovely, seniors who are supporting the program throughout. So now, sorry, may I now request our committee, Dr. Narhari Shastri, Director CSI, to say a few words.
So
He's
very
online.
good morning.
Yeah.
Very good morning. The most honorable Minister for Science and Technology and Earth Sciences, Sri Jitendra Singh Ji, and our dynamic Director General, Dr. Shekhar Mande, and the newly joined JS Sri Singh and FA Jain Ji, and Dr. Geeta Vani and Wafia. It is a fantastic day for us to have the blessings of the Minister on not only the young children, but in the entire Jigyasa program. Sir, when we started this Jigyasa program in 2017, we have touched more than 4 lakh students, and many of them are very much benefited. And after kickstarting this virtual lab on 22nd November 2021 with your own hands, during COVID time, we are able to meet more people. And as a part of this Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, the Jigyasa Vigyan Mahotsav 2022 was conducted with a very short notice. And the overwhelming response that we got is really encouraging. And under the leadership of our DG, Dr. Shekhar Mande, we are taking the Jigyasa program with virtual lab with IIT Bombay in a big way. And NCL with Dr. Wafia is really taking forward this program where a large number of students are getting involved and a lot of content is being created. And in addition to that, we are creating content not only in Hindi and English, but also in all vernacular languages due to the strength that we had in CSIR system in several local languages. Further, mobile vans are being created where we will try to take the science and technology and the newest developments that are there to the nooks and corner of the villages. Because we strongly believe that the Atal Tinkering Labs, which were started by the Niti Aayog, about 300 of them are being mentored by CSIR institutes, and we are going and handholding these Atal Tinkering Labs, which was taken as a priority program. And with such a strong support and visionary leadership of our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, and under your leadership, CSIR will try to give its best for this Jigyasa program. And I am very, very happy that you have come here to grace the occasion. And I thank you very much for your kind support. And sir, with your leadership, CSIR will do its best to bring the scientific temper in the villages as well as in the students. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shastri. I would like to now, without delay, say the vote of thanks. So, Honorable Minister for Science and Technology and Earth Sciences, Dr. Jitendra Singh ji, respected Director General, Dr. Mande ji, Joint Secretary, Admin, Shri Surendra Pal Singh, Financial Advisor, CSI, Shri Chetan Prakash Jain, Head of Human Resource Development Group, Dr. Geeta Vani Raisam, Task Force Committee Chairman, Dr. Narhari Shastri, Jigyasa Program Lead Directors of each CSR laboratories. The most important pillar CSR Jigyasa, the Jigyasa nodals from each laboratory, from CSR fraternity, students, teachers, parents, and our most valued guests and audiences who are present here today and also who are watching live. It is my pleasure to have asked to propose a vote of thanks on this special occasion and on the extremely exciting students who participated and now are announced as winners. A special thanks to Honorable PM Modi ji for initiating the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav and inculcating the ministry's department to be part of the celebrations. Without this grand program, our CSR Jigyasa Vigyan Mahotsav 2022 would not have been conceptualized. I would also like to say a special thanks to DG CSIR for his leadership and continued interest in fostering and directing us that led to the success of the program. We are also thankful to Financial Advisor, CSIR, Joint Secretary Admin CSIR, Head, Central Planning Directorate, and President Head SCDD and the entire team for their support for the program. Thank you also to the immediate support from Dr. Geeta, Mr. Sridhar and her entire SCDD HRDG team, IT support team for fully supporting the one-of-a-kind competition, which blends creativity with science. I'm also happy to thank my MyGov team of Mr. Sandeep Tayal, Ms. Varde Jagdade, Ms. Somi Banerjee for presenting the quiz on their MyGov webpage, which extended the reach to even more students. I'm also thankful to the team IRTB for the entire Jigyasa website Mahotsav and a very short time. I recall some of our students who participated from other countries too. We at CSIR India are very proud we reached masses not only in the Indian continent but also we crossed borders. I would like to thank the selection committee, expert creatives who tirelessly went through the interesting and colorful submissions for the title for students and indeed the future of India. I would also like to thank the expert committee team, Dr. Veena, expert committee members, Dr. Mahesh, Dr. Kota Sharma, Dr. Arga Anna, Dr. Ipsa Jain, Mr. Hassan Jawad Khan, Dr. Nimish Kapoor for critically going through the contents and narrowing down the the content to the 75 announced today. Thank you to the chairman of the Task Force Committee and the Jigyasa Task Force for giving us the freedom, Jigyasa for finding us to make it a reality. I would like to thank each of the staff who are staying with us right from the Saturday Purti, Shikha, Shubdar, spirited effort for staying without break for the last 2 months, right from defining the contents, experts who could mentor and handhold the students. Without all of you, the program would not have been success. It has been indeed the comparison we share. Well, CSR Jigyasa team, your contributions during weekend meetings, such a short notice, we all remember a long time. Thank you very much for the support and creating a strong pillar for the Jigyasa program and virtual lab program. A special thanks to Somdatta, who has initiated the quiz competitions using Mentimeter, and we all followed her. Above all, I would like to thank SCDD, Dr. Punil Mahesh, Shikha, Deepak Jain, and all the SCDD team for making it a great success. Special thanks to Shiv, a creative person who has created all the poster infographics for making it more helpful and interesting. The person of setting up the entire production was none other than Dr. Geeta Sridharji. Thank you for your leadership in driving the program and bringing us together as a team. I would like to thank our stakeholders who inspire us with their innovative ways to make science reach students. I would like to thank all the schools, teachers, school students who have participated today and shared their experience under the Jigyasa program. In the end, I must say we thoroughly enjoyed watching the creatives submitted in the true sense. It was most challenging to evaluate them. Well, students, and you have done an incredible task. So thank you all, and thank you, sirs, for coming here and giving your to this program. Thank you very much.